Hello and welcome to Consumers Corner. I, of course, am the mass consumer, Michael Cashmere. And with me today, I do have Kieran Crowe. Kieran, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, Michael. I've had a bit of a stumbling block. I just lost to Smooth Matty McD, but the Austradian Messiah is feeling very good about himself and the things that I can do to help the Fed. Weedy is a bit pissy, but that's just Weedy. He's always pissy.
So, since we're talking about Australia, Alan had mentioned, Honest Alan Scott had mentioned that he could help me get press credentials, but I haven't heard anything on that front. Is there anything you could do to help me out with that?
Oh, absolutely. Your Austradian Messiah is here to help you, and I value your journalistic credentials that you bring to FedEx. So, I'll absolutely get onto that, and I'll make sure that you get exactly what you deserve.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So you've mentioned that you are the Austradian Messiah. What really drove you to that? How did that come to be?
Well, I was looking at the Fed as a whole, and there'd been a lot of beat downs. There was a lot of violence, and I realized that there was a lot of people in the Fed that were struggling with their issues. So for example, Techno having to listen to Faith and Storm go at it like dogs on heat. It doesn't sound great. So he got some noise cancelling headphones. Zoe recently joined the Fed, and I realized again, like, we're a bunch of nutcases, all of us. So gave her the opportunity to, be able to step back from the Fed every now and then and just go and have a spa day, stuff like that. Tony Robes, people like to bag him out for being thirsty. Polydipsia is a serious condition, and I decided to help him instead of bagging him out like the rest of the fuckers in the Fed. So yeah, it's just my way of trying to help the Fed and make it so that it's a more accepting place to be.
Well, I think that you're doing a great job with that. And we all know that you've been doing some journalism yourself, being on the dirt sheet. What can you tell me about that? Are you happy with your time there? Do you enjoy doing it?
I really do. It's something that I was, traditionally I was a print journalist. I did all my stuff, the old-fashioned way, typing it all up. So it was definitely an adjustment first up to be live, but it's definitely improved. When we're a 3-continent show, we've got South Australia, we've got Americans, we've got Tony Robes from England, and I've been really happy at the way that the fans have responded to Chicken Shits. Chicken Shits is, honestly, I think Chicken Shits is the reason I got drafted in the 3rd round. I reckon that the chickens definitely put me up 2 rounds that I wouldn't otherwise be.
Yeah, I think that the way the dirt sheet has been going, I really got to watch out. You guys are going to start taking over the ratings, and I might even get bumped. You never know. So
we'll bump Reese Sluts before we bump you. Don't worry.
I appreciate that. So you did mention that you did go relatively high in the draft, and number 12 is very high in the draft. So, besides Chicken Shits, what do you think really catapulted you that high in the draft?
So as was discussed prior to the draft, I think there's a little bit of recency bias. If I hadn't come back during the reboot, I probably would have slipped down a little bit. I think the Society of Serious Wrestlers really gave me something to latch onto and to be able to role play this reboot through, show off some of my comedic chops, which I might not have traditionally been able to do. I definitely wasn't a boner or a part of the system. But yeah, there's also a lot of, people look back and they remember some of the great matches that they had with Reband. They remember Valentine, Manowar, Johnny Root, of course, Gino. Some of those are some of the greatest feuds to ever hit Federation X or Wrestle.
Absolutely. So looking at your career and what you've done in the past, where do you see yourself really headed? Do you have any title aspirations that you haven't necessarily made known yet?
Well, when I first came back this reboot, I thought I'd be more of like someone that could guide some of the younger people. Narrow, which is a fool's game. Probably shouldn't have tried to give myself that job. I would like to see the superstar title come back, much like Carnage. Do I think that I still have it to like really go for it, balls to the wall? I'm not too sure. And you know, I've not really had too many shots at. Well, I've had plenty of shots. I'd like to have a run with the World Championship. I've not really been known for my World Championships, really. I was definitely known more as, you know, your person that got over based purely on ring performance. So, yeah, I'd like the world title, but I also don't want to take it off Kid or Naked Man either. So we've got a new world champion now. Eliezer has just gotten the nod, and I definitely have issues with the way that he's ducked me. So I think that might be in the cards in the future. I might be able to get my chance.
Well, best of luck to you in that. So speaking of the future and then also looking back at history, we've seen the return of someone who you definitely have a history with. Carissa Rain has returned to CWA. And although, you know, CWA and FedEx are two different places, I have a feeling that you guys might be crossing paths. So what do you have to say about that?
Well, the thing is that they're right across the street. You know, they're not that far away. You know, as Weedy, I'd probably say as long as she stays on her side of the street, we'll be fine. But yeah, there is some lingering resentment to the way that I was treated younger in my career. A much more naive weed man back in those days. She's good at playing people. She for her, everyone else in the Fed is just a chess piece. So I'd like to throw that warning out there to anyone that is interacting with her right now. She's going to use you and throw you away when you're done, when she's done with you. So just be mindful. And yeah, Carissa, stay on your fucking side of the street and we won't have a problem.
All right. Well, don't think you could say it any more clear than that. So as you know, I actually a few days back just inked a deal with CWA myself. I'll actually be returning to in-ring action. Maverick and I came to terms on a 3-match deal, and we'll see where things go after that. So maybe I'll be crossing paths with Carissa sometime in the near future. But moving on, we all know that you know, Federation X since the reboot has been doing phenomenally. You know, things are going well. Everybody's working really hard behind the scenes to make sure that everything does go well. And as the Austradian Messiah, I know that you're doing everything you can to help out with that. But if you could wave a magic wand, what's the one thing you would change about Federation X?
Oh, that's an interesting one. If I could wave a magic wand, we'd get rid of all this. We'd basically stop selling COVID. We'd go travel. You know, the mansion has been great, and it was really important. It was really important at the start of the reboot. But I think we need to go out and see our fans again. We need to see our fans in America, Southern Australia, maybe even Japan. You know, there's people that haven't seen Federation X in like a decade, and they want to see these big names. So yeah, if I was to wave a magic wand, let's get on the road. Let's take our show to the people.
All right. So speaking of names, we're to that portion of the interview where I'm going to throw out some names, and you're going to give me 1, 2, 10, 1,000 words, who knows? Sometimes these can really run off the rails. But I'm just going to go through a few names and you can tell me what you think. So let's start with the one and only Tony Robes II.
Thirsty, but I'm not bagging him out for it. That's a serious medical condition, and I won't tease him like the rest of you jerks.
Smooth Matty McD.
Talented and delusional. The system's not coming back, mate.
Someone who has returned relatively recently, Biz Choco.
An unknown. Seriously, for me, I haven't actually interacted with him, so that's one of the reasons I myself will be tuning into the CWA to see some of these people who may not have the time in their lives to be a part of Federation X. I'm looking forward to your people like your Kashmirs, your Bizes, you know, doing something in CWA. I think they're going to be an important part of the Federation X product.
Man of War.
Bad guy.
Genocide.
Not higher than me.
Johnny Rude.
Inadequate.
Valentine.
Oh, Valentine. We're going to miss him in FedEx. Yeah. Best match of my career is Valentine, but if I was to describe him, hilarious, absolutely hilarious.
Acid Ed.
Med.
And we'll end it on this one. Carissa Rain.
Manipulative cunt.
Very well. I thank you for your time, Kieran. It was great to have you on my show. I'll make sure that I get a plug in for the dirt sheet. I know you guys are doing a great job over there. And, you know, I really appreciate other serious broadcast journalists working as hard as you guys do over there, just like I do here. So best of luck in that run for the world title. Hopefully you can get there. And do you have one last thing you want to leave the fans with before we end this?
If you want to know what I think about the goings on the Fed, Twitter at CrowFed will give you the absolute hottest of hot takes about what's going on in Federation X. And I will see if I can branch out to CWA for that as well. And also Dirt Sheet once every fortnight.
All right. Thank you so much, Kieran, for joining me today. Again, this episode will drop on 4/20. So make sure that everybody is ready to celebrate probably one of Weedman's favorite holidays.
Damn straight. Thank you very much, Cash. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much.